Hi there. Oh man, everything just takes so long, especially when you're really paying attention and you're really watching things and you really want things to happen. It seems like they never ever happen. That is, unless there's something and you never even like thought about much because it doesn't really interest you. Like all of a sudden, it seems like all these different uh, states. I don't know. So far, well, I guess there's Colorado already did decriminalize magic mushrooms, and now California is going to do it. They're talking about it, and Iowa's talking about it, and all these states are talking about doing this. And it's something I never ever even crossed my mind because I'm not like interested that much at all. And I know that a lot of people are, and maybe it's something they were aware of, but like just until recently, I was not even aware that this was all going on. Like I never heard of bills being introduced to decriminalize mushrooms, and all of a sudden you're just hearing about it on YouTube or wherever. And I could care less about that. I care more about, well, I mean, I do care to a point where I don't want to see people put in jail for, drug, like recreational drug use, as long as they're not hurting anybody. Like I think what you do with your own life and is your own personal business. But I have been paying really, really close attention to the bills being introduced to decriminalize sex work, and I have not heard one word today about it. And the bill was supposed to be introduced today in DC. Not one word about it. So you know what they say, like no news is good news. Maybe they're getting somewhere, and it won't be announced until tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. It just seems like everything takes forever. And then there was a bill introduced a month ago to ban unnecessary genital mutilation surgeries on intersex, and that bill's taken forever. So it seems like they're not getting anywhere this year with that bill. It's going to continue on. And I'll actually put the link below if you want to see that video. There's a YouTube video where they're in court and they're introducing the bill, and then they're talking about it, and there's like tons of intersex people that are saying they want the bill passed because they don't want their genitals mutilated when they're children, when they can't say no, when they have no voice. So, and then of course you got the doctors that are, of course they're going to oppose it. What do you think they're going to do? Say, oh yeah, you think they're going to admit they're wrong? You think all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, we're so sorry for the past 50 years. We've been cutting up these intersex people, and ruining their genitals. You really think they're going to admit it? Of course not. Of course they're going to try and fight it. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to conflate this very, very like 1%, maybe 1% of intersex people maybe medically might need it for medical reasons, and they're trying to conflate that 1% with everyone else. Like they're trying to say that it's all could be necessary. And so now what the courts are trying to do is they're trying to like create a what do you call, like a certainty line, like this side of the line for sure medically, and that side of the line for sure not. And then they're trying to make what do you call, like what will the penalty be? Like they're wanting to like get flexible on that, like so that it's not such a bad thing where you don't lose your license. And yeah, of course they should, because if doctors aren't going to lose their license, they're just going to keep doing it anyway. You know what I mean? Like they'll just keep doing it. They'll keep making up excuses to keep doing it because they're profiting. They're making millions of dollars cutting up genitals. Okay, they used to do this. What do you call, like electric shock therapy like years ago to gay people, and then they finally stopped that. But now what they're doing is they're cutting up genitals, and these people, a lot of them could actually be a lot of intersex people, not all, but a lot of intersex people are actually either gay or queer. Not all, again, I'm saying a lot of them are though. So like one of the fears is that, well, if a baby female is born with a large like clit that looks like a penis, they're like all like like paranoid, or like like they have a phobia. Like a lot of people are phobic about it. Like they think that the girl will because if her penis or her clit is large like a penis, they'll think, well, that's gonna like make her gay or make her pursue like a gay relationship. I mean, how fucking retarded is that? I mean, leave people alone already, So again, I'll put the link after this is done. If I don't get cut off, that is, and whatever. I mean, YouTube hates me, but if they cut the video short, then hopefully it'll still be available, and I can still put the link below in the comment section if you're interested in watching the court hearing about it. But again, I found an article on Google where it's not stopped. Okay, this is not the end of it. Intersex people will keep fighting and fighting and fighting for as long as it takes, because we know we're right. Okay, no intersex person is like ever glad that they had their genitals mutilated on. Okay, again, unless it's like some kind of severe medical reason, nobody is glad that the doctors did that without their permission, unless they're nuts or that it was actually necessary. And okay, so another thing they're trying to say is that hypospadias is not intersex condition. And well, I kind of think it is. And I kind of think that it should stop, because when you start cutting on a penis, just because the hole isn't at the very, very tip, you are risking different scar tissues and issues where the person will have to keep getting surgeries all through his life. And I've actually had clients that have had the hypospadias condition, and they were operated on, of course, as infants, as they always do. And what I noticed about those types of penises is that they have a lot of scar tissue inside of them, so they don't feel like normal penises. Like, how a penis is supposed to be like supple, even though it's hard, it's still supple. Well, when they have the surgeries over and over again, it causes a lot of hardening inside the penis. So the penis actually feels like a fake penis. I'm not kidding you. Like penises that have been operated on, they feel fake. They feel like a hard, fake plastic penis. They don't feel normal. Okay. So it'd be the difference of having something that's like with tissue, where that it's soft inside, like you do this, to like a rock. Like imagine a rock, okay? Like that's what a penis feels like that's been operated on again and again and again. It creates all this hardness and like a rock feeling, and it doesn't feel good. It's very, very rockish, like hard rock, like no give, no flexibility, just like a hard, stiff rock. It's very uncomfortable, very unnatural, and these surgeries need to stop now. Okay. It pisses me off. Why do things take so fucking long to happen? This should happen now. These doctors need to be put in prison now and told to stop now. You are destroying intersex genitals, okay? And it needs to stop now, not tomorrow, not the next day, not the next year. Because in the meantime, every single day this is happening. Every single day, babies are being operated on for no fucking reason other than these people are fucking retarded, okay? These doctors are fucking retarded. And it's like they just keep going on and on, like the same, like over and over, like they keep repeating themselves into a cycle. It's never-ending cycle of mutilations, okay? It's like it never ends. When will the retardation ever end? Like, when will we ever progress out of this cycle of over and over and over the same bullshit, okay? Like, we never progress out of the same bullshit. It's the same bullshit it's always been. It's always been bullshit after bullshit. And we never get anywhere. Like, you cannot get out of the bullshit with the same kind of mindset, with the same kind of thinking. Like, our thinking never changes. The human mind has never really evolved out of the past 1,000 years. We still think the same way. It's ridiculous. Oh, man. Okay. What else is new? So, I finally got a hold of someone to look at my bathroom floor because I'm getting like a lot of moisture on the floor. It's creating causing mold issues on my bathroom. I called like 5 or 6 people and no one ever got back to me. Finally gave up on these people because I gave them like 3 days to get back to me. No one ever got back to me. So finally today I went to the Better Business Bureau page, and believe me, just because they're on the Better Business Bureau page doesn't mean that they're 100% okay. Like you still got to do your homework and you still have to check, because there are like people out there that don't know what they're doing, and they'll pretend like, or they act like, or they seem like they know what they're doing, but they may not know what they're doing. And believe me, I am so careful, because you can go on YouTube and you can find all kinds of botched, tile jobs where people will just throw the tile down and you have issues with it, or it doesn't look right and it's not even and it looks like shit, and then you pay all that money, or you can pay half the money up front and lose a lot of money, and then you got to redo it and blah 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 blah, and then you're like without a bathroom for weeks. So what should have been like a couple day, 3 day maybe job turns into like a month long, where you got to go and hire someone else to redo the damage that someone else did, because that someone else might say they can do the work and really they don't know what they're doing, even though they pretend like they know. And even though they might be on the Better Business Bureau page, that doesn't mean shit, because they could just be kind of new at it, because you want to get a good deal. You don't want to pay a lot of money for someone who's been doing it for many, many, many years. So you might want to get someone who's only been doing it a few years. No, you got to be careful. So I had this one person come out, and I had a feeling something wasn't quite right. This was good, okay? Like, I believe he said something about 1,100. That sounds about right, just to tile a bathroom floor. And I'm going to buy the tiles myself. They're cheap. They're like from Home Depot. I decided to go with tile. So what he told me didn't make sense, because he said, I asked him, like, how are you going to prep the floor? Because right now it's just like this old, like wood, like this is like 100-year-old house. So it's got like this really old wood flooring. I guess there's a subfloor under it. I don't know. But he said like he was just going to put like a mesh, like a wire. And I'm thinking, that don't sound right. So in other words, he's just going to put a wire mesh on top of the bare wood and then just slap the tiles on there. I don't think so. So I did a little bit of research, and I didn't think that sounded right. And I was looking at videos on YouTube, and there's more of a process to it than just that. Because if you did that, there's going to be like a hump, because the floor is kind of uneven. And there's kind of like a little hump because it's wood and they're not even. So that would make the tiles kind of uneven, I'm thinking, and it wouldn't be really waterproof. And you get a little crack in the grout, and all of a sudden you get water in there, and then all of a sudden you're going to damage, the subfloor is going to get damaged. So I went on YouTube and I was looking, I'm like, yeah, there's more of a process than that. And then I called someone else, and luckily he did show up, and he did confirm my suspicions that that's not the right way to do it. So the way he's going to do it is he was going to put down, there's like some kind of board that you put down. I forget the name of it, but it's for like when you do tile. And then on top of that, he's going to put cement. And then on top of the cement, he's going to do the grout and then the tile. So it's going to be like completely sealed in. So there's no way the water can get down under the floor and rot at the subfloor. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with him, because he didn't want any more really than what the last guy wanted. And it's more of a process. And so, yeah, that's probably what I'll end up going with, the last quote that I got, but I've got one more and then I'll decide. So that'll be 3 quotes altogether. Anyway, again, I have no idea what's going on with this bill that was introduced today in DC to decriminalize sex work. I haven't heard a word about it. So is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I would be shocked, though, if all of a sudden I wake up tomorrow and find that it passed, because, again, it seems like anything I really, really want to happen takes forever, okay? And things that I don't really care so much about, like pot, mushrooms, that stuff seems to be just flying through the courts, like no problem. Oh yeah, mushrooms, oh sure, Colorado decriminalizes it. Like all of a sudden I looked and there it was. I never even heard anything about any bills being introduced. Just, oh yeah, sure, we'll decriminalize that. It's mushrooms. Or like California now, they're gonna do it. And then Iowa, and like Iowa, what? It's like, that's crazy. You never would think Iowa would be one of the states to want to decriminalize mushrooms. But it just seems like things that aren't that really that all important, where not that many people really care about. Oh, sure, no problem. And things like have to do with severe human rights, like abuses that are going on, like with mutilation, people's genitals, and making clits into, something like large clits into something else, like cutting them off and stuff, and severe human rights, like that stuff's like taken like until what, 2020? Like the bill was introduced last month and they're still going to be going on and going in all these circles and cycles. And I'll put the link below of the video, or you could just like Google YouTube, intersex bill, California bill. And there's like a video, and it was just on like a few weeks ago. It's like only a few. So you could do like filters. You can filter out like all the ones from like last year and just go from last month, and it'll show up that way too. But yeah, there's like a bunch of intersex people on there wanting the bill to be passed, saying that it, affected them. And then you got all the advocates, and then you even got like a urologist that's on the intersex side saying that all these surgeries are unnecessary. And then of course you got a few of the scum buckets, trying to say that it's all like kind of necessary stuff that they're doing, which is all bullshit. So yeah, what do you like I'm saying, what do you think? Of course the doctors are gonna try to fight it. What do you think they're gonna say? Oh, so sorry, yeah, we were wrong. Yeah, we do these surgery all the time because we make a lot of money, and the kids, the babies, they can't protest, they can't say no, and we just do it anyway because, well, we've been doing it like this for 50 years. And of course, we used to do electric shock therapy on gay people. And yeah, this is just one more of those things that we do because we can get away with it. And, yeah, it's a severe human rights issue. And yeah, we're tearing up people's genitals and turning them into people that we think how they should look because we want everyone to look the same. And you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to admit that. What do you think they're going to do? Of course, they're going to fight it. It's up to everyone to see through the lies and the bullshit. And it takes a long time. It doesn't just happen overnight. I'm so sorry I troll you so much. I like your videos. Make me laugh. Hmm. So let's see what people are saying. Illinois, yeah, I know. Illinois did just legalize recreational. And like it's funny because all these states are doing that, but at the same time, on the federal level, it's still illegal. So what do these pot shops do with all this cash? I guess they're like banks and they just keep it in vaults, I guess. And I think what they're doing is they're probably buying up real estate, because if you notice, the states that have done that, the real estates are skyrocketing. Did you see they arrested a doctor today and charged him with 25 counts of murder? No, I didn't see that. What, abortion or something, or what? I didn't hear about that. What did he do? I know in Oregon they have a law where older people that are like severely like have severe medical conditions where they're going to die and they know they're going to die. I know they have rights to be euthanized. I believe that's in Oregon. So as far as I know, the only country so far that's criminalized unwanted genital mutilations on children and infants is the country of Malta. It's a small island off the south coast of Italy, and they're very progressive, and they really are the best country in my mind for human rights. Yeah, everything involved in politics does. It takes way too long. But that bill is not done, and it will be back in by 2020 or in 2020, they're saying. What they're gonna try to do is, create, like, a line of where this side of the line, intersex surgeries are necessary, and on that side of the line, they're not necessary. That's what they're gonna try to do, and also they're trying to negotiate how much trouble the doctor will get into, which I think what they're gonna try to do is make it so that if the doctor does it anyway, even though it's not really necessary surgery, that they won't get in that much trouble, which is bullshit. Like they should lose their license, but they want to negotiate that, which is bullshit because they'll just do them anyway then. If it's not a serious thing where if the doctor just gets like a little slap on the hand or something, they'll just do it anyway because they're making tons of money doing those surgeries. Of course they'd do them anyway. Some doctors, I think, actually enjoy mutilating on children. They probably get hard-ons when they do it. I'm not kidding you. I bet you they do. It's sadistic. It's a sadistic turn on. And I do think that these surgeries they do on infants, where if the infant's a male child has the hole instead of at the very tip, if it's anywhere along the shaft, I think those surgeries are also unnecessary, and they shouldn't be cutting on them and trying to create the hole at the tip because what they do is they have to cut all the tissue all the way up inside the shaft, and they have to insert catheters in there. And what that does is that creates scar tissue all inside the penis, all the way around inside. There's like tons of scar tissue all the way up and down, and it makes the penis not feel like a normal penis. It feels like a rock. I've had clients like this, and the penis is horrible. It almost hurts. It's too hard. It would be like taking like a rock, okay, and carving it into a penis where there's no give. There's no give to it. It's not supple. It's not comfortable. It's just like a rock. Okay. And that's unnatural. It shouldn't feel that way. And I don't like penises like that. It's horrible. Okay. And they should not do that surgery at all. It's not necessary. If a child has a hole anywhere along the shaft, they can just sit down to pee. And there's no problem with that. Okay. Or they could just stand over the toilet with their legs open and pee like that. They don't have to be able to stand, or they could stand and they could just hold their penis up like that and pee like this down to into the toilet like that, okay? And the good thing about having a hole here is think about it this way. They can actually have sex without worrying about, getting anyone pregnant, right? Because if the sperm is not coming out here and if it's coming out down here, then they can just have sex up to there and then they come and the sperm would come outside the vagina. That's assuming they're straight. I think a lot of people born with genital abnormalities are probably not all, but a lot of them are either gay or something. And you think about if a lot of people were just left alone, intersex people or people like that, think about all the interesting gay porn we would have. Wouldn't that be interesting? So imagine like if a guy has like cum shooting out from down here instead of up here, he would could be having sex and all of a sudden you see the cum shot and he doesn't even have to pull out. Like he'd still have his penis inside and the cum would shoot out this way or something. And you think about like intersex female where she has a really, really big clit that gets hard, where they haven't done any surgery to it, where it can still get hard, where they don't take out any erectile tissue, or where they don't, cut it short or cut it off completely. And you think about a female that has a really nice, big, hard clit, and you could watch her fuck, like that, or jack off, or you could, and then maybe she has like a little tiny opening, like she has a big old clit and a little tiny opening. You could see, or you could see her get fucked by another intersex female like that, where the pussy's really small, or like a male like with a little tiny like micro penis, and you could see like a male with a micro penis fuck a intersex woman with a bigger dick than him with a little tiny hole at the bottom, and you could see a little micro penis fucker. I mean, it would open up a whole new porn scene. Okay, that would be great for the economy. I'm not even joking. I know a lot of people are thinking I'm joking. I'm not even joking. I'm serious. It's not funny to me at all. I'm serious. I am dead serious. Okay, this would create a whole new porn scene, which would be a beautiful porn scene. Actually, it would no longer be this ugly porn scene where you have these ugly cunts that look like dead animals, where it's a clam, like you see like these clams and they got like the dead animal flesh inside. It's all like ugly, like the pussy's all like distorted and shit. Instead you see these beautiful intersex women with nice big clits. Maybe their labia would be fused together. It'd be beautiful and full and fused together. The labia, where it's not all like ugly and stuff, would be like just a soft, beautiful fused labia. And it'd be a beautiful, small, tight hole at the bottom. Like you'd see these beautiful intersex people, and these beautiful, non-surgical, non-alterated penises, where they would be nice foreskin, maybe a little smaller than normal, but they'd be beautiful. Maybe they'd have the hole at the bottom where they could have unprotected sex because all the fluids would come out down here, instead of out here, and it'd be beautiful. So yeah, well, you know, you can always hope for good news, but things that are really, really important seem to take the longest. There's just so much ignorance in this world. Well, there was this news about this guy in Iowa who had 200 cats dead in his house. Ew, that's gross. Cats carry all kinds of like they carry ringworm and parasites, and you can get all kinds of like zoological diseases from cats. They're disgusting. I don't know why people like cats so much. They're gross. They're not really even part of the natural ecosystem. They're like a man-made type of animal. I know they've been in civilization forever, but still they're not a natural part of the ecosystem. I really hate cats the most because they kill a lot of the songbirds. And I'm a bird lover. Like I like to look. I would never want to cage one. I used to when I was a child. I used to have pet birds, but now I just like to see them in nature. But I don't hear songbirds so much anymore. When I was a child, I used to hear them every day. Now I rarely hear them because the cats go after them the most. Oh, so I was watching this video earlier about how our food consumption rate is like about 10 or 20% higher than the food production rate. So here's our consumption and here's our production right now with all the floods. and they're saying how food prices are going to go up, but I'm thinking, yeah, but what about people that already are living like, paycheck to paycheck, and they barely can feed themselves now? You just wonder, like, is this really going to have something really, really bad going to happen? Like food riots or something? I don't know. Um, I don't know that I have a theory about things like that, and that is when someone in position of power, politician or let's say presidents, when they see a problem happening, like for example, food shortages, they try to get control over the situation by maybe creating tariffs. So they don't want, like, how do I explain this? They don't want the markets to like dictate as much as they have control. Like they want to make it look like they have everything under control. So instead of the market saying, "Oh, for example, we're not producing enough soybeans, therefore we need to stop shipment of soybeans because we won't have enough." So instead of doing it that way, they just create tariffs to make it look like we have it under control. Like we're the ones that are controlling. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So it's like a political thing, is what I'm saying. They make it into a political thing where, oh, like, no, it's not tariffs because we don't have enough. It's just tariffs because of X, Y, or Z. You know what I mean? Like it's just a way to gain control over the situation. That's my look on it. That's how I see it. Maybe it's true or not true, or maybe it's a little true, or I don't know. But all I know is this: I do drink soy milk. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but I have noticed lately, and not that it matters to me because I don't buy the shelf brand. I only buy the fresh in the refrigerated section. And the one store that I go to, I noticed that there used to be an aisle where they'd have like the shelf soy and the shelf almond milk and all that other kind of shelf type substitute milk. All that's gone. But it's not like in every single store. It's in one of the stores that I shop at. That whole aisle is gone. So now the only soy milk they have, which is okay because that's the only kind I drink, is the one in the refrigerated section. Now, if they get rid of that one, that would be horrible, because then that means I'd have to get in my car every time I want soy milk and drive a few miles. And I don't like to have to do that. I like to be able to just walk to the store. And it could go up a little bit. It wouldn't really affect me. Trump will get reelected. We don't even have to choose it. Yeah, probably. So yeah, it's funny because we do live on a water planet, yet only a very, very small amount of the water on our planet is actually usable, which is really odd. It almost seems like we really are in the dark ages when it comes to stuff, because if we could just salinate ocean water, we would have an endless amount of water. However, it's very, very, at this point, here we are at what, almost 2020 already. And it's very, very expensive to desalinate. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort to desalinate. And then you got the other problem of getting it to the areas where they need it, in the deserts and things. So, yeah. All we can do is hope that technology catches up and there's some kind of new renaissance or something, you know? It's like only technology can save us now. Yeah, there's something called peak everything. So that's where we get to a plateau of production of pretty much everything. And then that's called the peak plateau. And then from there, it's like population just keeps going up, 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 yet production stays like this. So what you have is people falling off the cliff, which is like homelessness. So that's why we have it's happening already. That's why we now have homeless camps and tent cities, and that never used to be. It's because of the peak of production of everything is already there and population is already here. And then you have people falling off the cliff over here. So the way I would solve homelessness is I would give everyone a tiny home on land where they would be like eco villages, and I would create. This probably never happened, but there needs to be land set aside for these people, and they need to be able to like grow a lot of their own food and create eco villages. That's what I would want to do. Permaculture, eco villages, water capture, food forests, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I was hoping to bring some news today that, yeah, the bill went through and it passed, but looks like we're going to have to wait on that too. Yeah, the tenderloin has always been kind of yucky with homelessness and everything, but I hear it's just getting a lot worse. Like now, like when I lived there 10 years ago or whatever, it was gross, but it's not like you had to look to like be careful not to walk in a pile of shit. But I've heard now you have to really watch every step you take because there's just shit everywhere. People are just shitting all over the place. It's really disgusting. And it just keeps getting worse, they say. Like more areas are getting like that. Yeah, shit and needles are everywhere. There's lots of crazy, crazy people in this world, and there's nowhere to put them. But that's what they use jails for now, I guess. But there's not even enough of that. And jails just make people even more crazier. It doesn't help them. Jails can even make people that aren't crazy crazy because whenever you give make someone if you deprive someone of their senses of the outside world, it kills brain cells basically. It's called sensory deprivation, and it makes people nuts. That's why a lot of people that go to jail, they come out worse and crazier than when they went in. Luckily, I've only spent 24 hours one time in jail, and it was torture already. I actually masturbated half the time I was in there just to pass the time away. See, you're saying that it's no you've been in jail a couple times, no big deal. Yeah, for some people, maybe it's not a big deal, but if you have a lot more to lose, like if you're in jail and you know you're gonna like lose your job, lose your home, you know what I mean? You have a lot to lose and it would be a big deal. Yeah, I don't know. Population in third world countries is not good because all I can say is don't feed them. Like if you feed them, like it makes it worse because then they just keep having more and more. I know it's cruel to not feed hungry people, but it doesn't help them when you feed them. It just makes them have even more. That's why when I go to the store and the kiosk always asks you, I don't know about your area, but where I live, it always says, feed the homeless, yes or no, or it says feed the hungry. It says feed the hungry, yes or no. I always put no because again, you don't help people when you feed them, especially in third world countries. They just keep having more and more and more, and they just need more and more and more, and it just makes everything worse, worse, worse. Anyway, today's been like horrible. I hate Wednesdays. It seems like most Wednesdays, I don't know what it is, but I mean, as far as getting anything done, the only thing I got done today basically was getting two estimates on the bathroom, which I guess is better than getting nothing done. But it's just been really dead today. And I've only got like six people watching. No one's really saying a whole lot. Wednesdays just aren't good for anything. I got some like crazy text earlier. My neighbor's dogs have been like all morning long, they just kept barking and barking over every little thing. Like the trash guy, they bark, the mailman, they bark, the person walking down the street, they bark, 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 bark. Like all morning. It just drove me nuts. It's like it's crazy out there. I hate having neighbors' dogs barking so close to my window because her yard is right where my windows are. It's terrible. Like the next house I get, I want to get something that's like not with windows so close to where the neighbors are. I hate it. And you know what's even worse? Hopefully it doesn't happen, but last summer she had her barbecue or fire pit going and it's in all the smoke was like all because the wind blows from that direction, it all blows this way. It was all blowing into my house and it was really, really warm in here. And I had to close up all my windows. It was terrible. And I could still have the smoke was still coming in my house. So I kind of would like to move back to Hawaii for a few years and just kind of forget about everything, like not think about everything going on in the world no more, just forget about all of it and just live like a hermit in isolation, and just not have to think about anything. Not have any neighbors. It was so nice when I lived in Hawaii not having, well, actually there were neighbors, but they weren't like so close to me that I had to hear their shit all the time. Well, actually I did kind of have to hear their shit because they weren't very nice and they would always make that note very, very apparent that they were not very nice. They'd always, any chance they get, they would yell at me. But yeah, if you're isolated enough, I guess it wouldn't be too bad in a better area. The only thing I have to worry about now is if the volcano started acting up again. So I would be gambling. I would be taking my money and placing a bet that the volcano's not going to go off within the next several years and that the house that I buy will go up in value without putting much money into it. That could either happen, or I would lose everything, or I would not make any money there. I would just kind of like, I think without a basic income, it'd be kind of too much of a risk, really, because you don't make money on Big Island at all. It's like really dead there, and there's not many places to advertise. I'd probably be lucky to have one or two clients a month, probably. It wouldn't be very good. Yeah, taxes are also another issue there. If I ever did buy another place there, I would never ever go to the tax office again and ask them to lower my property tax because that would be my permanent home. I would never even ask them because what they do is they'll come out and they'll look at your house, and instead of lowering your tax, they will actually raise your tax. It happened to me. They will reassess the value at the highest possible rate, and then that's what they do. As a thank you, they will actually raise your taxes, which is crazy. They don't care about being fair. They just want as much as they can get out of you. Like they really don't want you there unless you have a lot of money. So I guess the chances of me probably moving back to Hawaii is about as good as getting a basic income, which is pretty much zero. I don't think Andrew Yang will win because places like Google and Amazon, they're not going to want him to win. No way. Because that means they would have to start paying taxes, which they don't. They would basically have to be paying for a basic income, and they're not going to want to do that. So if they have any control or power over who's president, then it's not going to be Andrew Yang, and he's the only one that's really running on basic income. Anyway, these live chats make me really tired for some reason. I'm getting really, really tired now. I haven't took my B's vitamin yet today. I was hoping to get away without because I really don't want to have to like take them a lot because they are toxic. Like anything you take that's not natural, like any kind of um, what do you call like man-made vitamin that's synthetic. That's the word I was looking for. Synthetic vitamins are actually toxic if you take them long term for a long time. So I don't really want to have to rely on them. I haven't had any beef liver for a while. I think probably should have that for dinner tonight. It's high in B12. That might help me feel better because I don't eat a whole lot of meat. Like I probably eat very, very like less than a palm size every day, like very little. Like I might have a little piece of, roast beef or a little piece of fish or chicken, a couple pieces of chicken. That's not enough. You know what I mean? I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like, I feel like it fills me up. Like, if I, for example, the other day I had a roast beef taco. It was like a large taco, and that kept me full like all day long. And I did not want any more meat. But as far as getting enough B12, I think that's probably not going to be, even though it was like grass fed and everything, that's probably not enough. Liver, on the other hand, that might be enough B12, but I don't want to overdo the liver. Like, I don't even crave it that much. So you can get like too much A, I think, with liver. Yeah, I think I'll make some liver marsala beef, like it's like Indian style. It's like a beef marsala, but it's Indian marsala. I'll make that with some probably roast some cauliflower and rice, or make I could make alagoopia, I guess, to go with it. Cauliflower, that sounds kind of good. Cauliflower, rice, alagoupe. I first what I do is I boil to get it soft, the potatoes and the cauliflower before I put them in the pan with all the spices. Oh, I'm getting so tired. So I don't know what else to talk about. Okay, well, I'm getting really tired. I've been here for almost an hour now. Yeah, I only did the keto diet for a really short time, and it helps with weight loss because my problem is carbs make me fat, but I do eat some just because it's easier that way. Anyway, I don't know what else to talk about. I think I'll go now. Take care. Thanks. Bye.